All right. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Hope you're doing well. We're gonna go ahead and hop in, and I don't think there's any new faces in here necessarily today. Excuse me, regardless. What's up, Nia? Hope you're doing well. We'll run through this. So, as usual, I'm your host with the most, Coach Mitch. I'm glad you guys are here. Keep in mind, this is our Wednesday community meeting, we're talking about a lot of things. We got Joshua hopping into the meeting here soon. We talk about a lot of things that you guys are going through, things to keep in mind, and things to make your training better in these meetings. I'm glad you could be here, right? Again, just keep in mind, please make sure your cameras are on. Please make sure you're a part of this community if you are able to do so. Sorry, guys, letting some more people in here as we pick up stragglers. Now, as usual, a couple announcements here. Bear with me. I'm gonna look on my other screen just so I stay on track. If you guys don't mind. One, keep in mind training sessions are going. So I don't know if you guys can see the gallery view, but Coach Naya is in here. Say hello, Coach Naya. Just kind of wave if y'all can see her, regardless. Um, I'm going to be assisting her and growing her training career. So she's gonna be helping out the Orbit team. So mind you, just remember, if you are interested in training sessions, especially if you are in some type of sport, if you're getting ready for powerlifting, you're training for a running event, things like that, for you guys that are competitive, you probably would majorly benefit from a training session. Keep in mind, we're still running those. If you want help on fine-tuning your technique, Chrissy, we're about to meet up and go over a lot together too. So I'm excited for that. Training session is still going on. If you'd like to schedule one, if you are in person here to South Texas, or even, excuse me, distance as we do them online, you let me know. We'll set that up. Regardless, general reminder, please keep me updated. A lot of you guys are having things happen over the summer and like trips and family events and stuff like that. Moving, for example, is happening. Please keep me updated so I can make sure that we adjust your program accordingly. The more you plan in advance, the easier these things are going to be, and the more you're going to stay on track and on progress, right? Regardless, we're going to go ahead and jump into today. So bear with me as we get ready to share screen here. Goodness. Technical difficulties. One second. Outstanding. So hopefully you guys can see my screen. Right, we are letting people into the room. So again, our whole goal, what we're talking about today. So again, just keep in mind as our topics rotate. So typically we're going to talk about something related to your training to improve your training. Typically we're going to talk about something related to your nutrition. And then finally your mindset. We're going to repeat that on a monthly basis. Hopefully you've been able to see the kind of trend of how these topics are rotating. Excuse me. Right. So we've been talking a lot about, again, why do we talk about mindset so much? First of all, mindset being your body and your lifestyle is not going to reflect the mindset that you don't have, right? If we're not thinking like the person that we want to become, if we're not keeping that mindset in check and not, excuse me, kind of degrading ourselves to the goals we're trying to do, we're probably going to see better progress. That's why we talk about that so much. Nutrition wise, was just having this conversation with Wayne today, right? You have to take your nutrition as seriously as you take your gym process, right? It's not one without the other. You need to make sure that you're taking both as seriously as you should be. Some of you guys, that means tracking your food. Some of you guys, that means eating more vegetables, whatever that means for your current process as we've done those check-ins. So our last piece of the puzzle here, we're talking about your training intensity today. Excuse me. So framing this a different way, right? What do I necessarily mean by intensity? How hard are you training in the gym? And it's not just effort, and we're going to dive into what that looks like. But with most people that I've come to work with over the years, and this goes from more general guys who are trying to lose some weight to even athletes, you might not be training as hard as you think you are. And that might be why you're not seeing results as fast as you'd like to. So we're kind of diving into that today. Can you guys hear me okay? Thumbs, nods. Outstanding. Bear with me as I move my screen here. So mind you, these slides are just to more keep me on track. But regardless, as we kind of set this up, one, understanding what failure is. So the whole goal to give you guys some very rough science. I'm not trying to get too nerdy today, but to give you guys some rough science. You are going to grow the most, and what drives your muscle growth is how close you are getting to failure. If you've never heard of that, what I mean by failure is that you're going until you physically cannot do another rep. So say I'm doing a bicep curl. If I run out of steam and it's burning and my arm feels on fire and I physically, not where I stop, not where my mental stops, but where I physically can't get it up anymore, that is failure. Do you have to train to that level every time? Absolutely not. What I am saying is the closer that we can train to that point, on a more regular basis is going to help you grow as fast as possible. This is why what I like to frame to a lot of people is to not over harp on your form very early, because there's a bunch of people, you guys have probably seen people in the gym that don't look like they have very good form, but they have a great body or they're lifting lots of weight. A lot of this, again, not to say get rid of your form, and Coach Mitch told me not to care. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying, right, effort is going to be a large part of this process as well. If you cannot start to practice pushing your limits, letting the workouts get harder and harder as you get better and you get more skilled, then you are not going to grow as fast as you like. Joshua, glad you could be here, man. Thanks for checking in. Welcome to the community here, right? So again, diving into what failure looks like, what training looks like. A lot of people in their sets, you take your 2 sets of 10, your 3 sets of 15, whatever program that you're currently on right now. When do you mentally want to stop? Is that rep 5? Is that rep 10? Is that rep 15? Right? It depends on what your program, kind of what you're training for. But what I'm getting at is, are you, and this is an integrity check as well, are you finishing your sets? Are you tracking everything that you're doing? Or are you just checking the boxes off when you go through your workout? Because it's only hurting you at the end of the day. I'm not saying that's the case, but again, from experience, that is some people's reality. If you are not pushing, if you are not following the program to a large degree, right, you're going to cheat yourself out of certain benefits, right? And again, if we're talking about stopping those reps, if you have a set and we get to, for example, 2 sets of 10, just trying to stay with me here. Let's say 2 sets of 10 and you're lifting 100 pounds. What I talk to you guys a lot about is how hard do you think that set felt to you? Scale of 1 to 10. 10 being failure, right? 10 being as much as you can, coach. I have the snot bubble and I'm crying and my face is red, and that's a 10 out of 10. For you, if you're a little bit early in your process, you need to be training at least a 6 or 7 intensity, at least. So something to ask yourself in your recent workouts, in your recent weeks, have you been training as hard as you should be? If you had to go back and think about my leg press set or my bench press set, how hard was it? If it wasn't at least a 6 or 7 out of 10, 10 out of 10 being hard, you're wasting your time. And that's where the communication happens, as far as communicating with me, right? Hey, coach, actually, I'm actually feeling really strong. What do you guys have? A lot of you guys should know that your kind of policy of freedom, you can move your weight within 5 to 10 pounds on a given day. If something feels too easy, it probably is. If you don't feel like you need at least a minute and a half of rest time, you're training too easy. You should want that rest time between sets. Again, think about the intensity that you're going through. Think about how hard you are pushing yourself, is what I'm getting at here. Try and stay with me. So, as we get through this again, intensity is the whole game. Intensity is the whole process. Let's say you are dialed in as much as you can on your nutrition. Your nutrition is spot on. You're sleeping 7 to 9 hours every night. You're dialed in. You're getting your steps every day, at least 6,000, closer to 10,000 if you can. You're doing all the other check boxes. If your intensity is not there, your body doesn't have a reason to change. To say this a different way, again, not trying to get too sciencey, I want you to understand where I'm coming from so you can apply it to your training, right? How does your body change if you know anything about the body and reactions and things like that? How do we get stronger, for example? If I don't give my body a heavy enough weight, my body's not going to tell itself it has to get stronger because it thinks it doesn't need to. It's the same thing with your growth. We have to push ourselves closer to that limit over time as you get more skillful at it to make sure our body wants to grow, continue to grow. Something I was just talking to a client about today is, for example, if you're like, hey, coach, like I'm not interested in trying to bench press 500 pounds, like I just don't care. Yeah, neither am I, man. Right? Very few people have said that, even people in your favorite sports and powerlifting, things like that. A lot of people haven't said, hey, I want to lift 1,000 pounds one day. But that's what their body started to need over time. You're just getting stronger. Strong looks different for me versus for Jared versus for Josh down here. Heavy is different for everybody in here. But you still should be pushing yourself. You still should be lifting heavy. These sets should be intense, right? So again, condensing here, we're talking about your RPE. If you've heard me say that to you before, or even if I haven't said those words, I've probably used the scale with you. From 1 to 10, if 10 is 10 out of 10 hard, how hard are you training? If you're leaving the gym and you're like, oh, that was kind of whatever, you're wasting your time. Your weights aren't heavy enough, and that's a problem, right? As we keep going through this, I'm gonna give you guys some more examples. Let's keep going. Understand what intensity looks like. So this is why I preach on you guys sending in your form review videos so much, because I want to make sure that I'm helping you and giving you that feedback on your actual workouts as well. We talk a lot about nutrition. We talk a lot about mindset in this online aspect. I want to make sure that your training is going the way that it should be. So what are some signs that you are training intensely? One, what you call it? It burns. And you're slowing down. Slowing down is a big part of this process. If you don't find that the last 3, 4 reps or so are starting to be really, you have to push, or you're doing your legs and you really have to push, you're not lifting heavy enough. You're not pushing yourself enough. Two, we're talking about things like reactions. So are you sweating? Is your face getting red? Are you scrunching up? Do you have to show your teeth? Again, signs that you are pushing yourself. Does every single workout have to look like this? No. But more often than not, again, they should be kind of hard. You should want to take your rest time because that set was hard. That's how we're getting better at this process. That's how you're going to see faster progress, right? And again, as you get more advanced, what do we talk about? For you to be seeing progress, if you're just kind of getting started here, you should be at around a 6 or 7 out of 10. If you've been in this program really longer than phase one and phase two, depending on what program that you're at, you guys should know, you should absolutely be at an 8 at a minimum. If you guys watch me on Instagram at all, some of you guys do, some of you guys don't, right? If you guys see a lot of my sets and my clips and stuff like that, I'm usually training at about a 9 consistently. That's why my face looks crazy, and I don't like people to talk to me there, right? Keeping those things in mind. Again, just ask yourself, how has your training intensity been? And we're actually going to disregard this slide. And something I'm also going to say is going to bring into you attention your intention in your exercises. If I can hop in, I'm going to change my screen on who I can see here. Bear with me. If I can be a bird. What do you call it? Not a bird on the wall, a fly on the wall. Goodness, fly on your wall in your training, and I could sit right next to you. Would I be able to see that you are not only training hard, but that you're focused on what you're doing? Are you trying to get better at these things? Or are you doing your set, let's say leg extensions, and then you hop off and you get on your phone and you're not even breathing hard? And then I kind of walk around the gym and I'm like, what am I going to eat later today? Are you focused in your session? Are you focused on what you're doing, or is your mind elsewhere? Are you focused on, hey, this is what I know that I need to do because coach gave me feedback earlier this week. This is how I need to improve my squat. This is how I need to improve my leg press. Hey, I need to keep that in mind. Hey, I need to go watch that video that coach sent me, for example. Hey, you know what? I know I messed up on what do you call it? Chest press the other day, and I never told coach, but that's something that I need to correct. Are you trying to get better every session at your technique? Again, not being a dead horse here, just things to keep in mind. We're going to kind of speed through this too, right? Again, we talked about what does training intensely look like. The reps are going to slow down. Maybe you're shaking a little bit. Things are getting hard, right? Think about your most recent days, right? Think about your favorite days as well, right? Some of you guys like upper body more. Some of you guys like lower body more. That's fine. Naturally, if you enjoy it and you enjoy the exercises and the program that you're on, you're probably going to push a lot harder. So if that's the case, on the days that you don't like as much, are you still training that same intensity? Something to keep in mind, right? And as we kind of condense this, I'm actually going to move on here. Talking about RPE and RIR, right? If you've heard me say this I use this with some of you more advanced individuals, right? John, I need you to pay attention here, all right? So with this in mind, right? RPE, you're probably going to hear this later down the line, just an introduction to it. I don't need you to remember all of this right now necessarily. RPE is rate of perceived exertion. All that means is that how hard do you think you worked out on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 is 10 out of 10. Remember, it's 10 out of 10 hard. Your warm-ups, for example, are probably going to be like a 3, maybe a 4. Should be your warm-ups when you walk in the gym to give you an idea of what intensity feels like. Your warm-ups shouldn't be very intense. They're probably like a 3. As I start getting into it and I start warming up for maybe my big lifts, for some of you guys that are on that, hip thrust, whatever that looks like for you, maybe I start climbing into that 6 or 7. What does your intensity look like for what you're doing? How hard are you pushing yourself? When we talk about RIR, this is really for you guys that are really focused on growth. Most of you guys actually won't see this. Regardless, that's reps in reserve. Another way to think about it is just the opposite of RPE. So how hard do you think you worked out on this side versus how many do you think you had left in the tank, right? Maricela, that's something we just talked about not too long ago. We want to make sure that we were growing as fast as we should be. So we had to ask. So for example, for Maricela's program, we asked her to do 2 reps left in the tank. That's a little bit different. So if you're pushing yourself on the chest press, for example, you're doing as much as you can. I want you to go as much as you can till you have 2 reps left in the tank. Again, different ways to measure how hard you think you're working out. I'm not going to beat on this too much. Again, just the introduction to what this might look like for you, right? If we kind of condense this to finish up, because I don't want to get too much into the science here. My point is, are you training intensely, right? Are you being intentional in your training sessions? Are you trying to get better at your form? Are you paying attention to the things you're doing? Are you looking for opportunities to get better? Right. And 3, are you communicating this with your coach? Are you sending in form videos on a semi-regular basis, at least once or twice a week, right? Trying to master your technique in these things. And what I'm going to leave you with is going to be as far as I want you to get more familiar with your body. It's very easy to say, John, Caroline, Luis, go into the gym and train hard, right? And I'm going to get you to the body that you want to get or your performance goals, like Caroline, that you want to hit. How well do you know your body? John, do you know what it's like when your elbow doesn't hurt versus when it hurts? Caroline, do you know what it's like to train your glutes? Don't just go through the motions in this process. If something doesn't feel right, coach has me chain my chest. Do you feel your chest when you do exercise? No, not at all. Okay, well, that's something that we need to talk about. Do you feel the muscles that you're trying to train? Are you intentional? Do you feel what you're trying to work out? Do things feel hard? Can you tell what your body's like when it's warmed up versus when it's not warmed up? When something hurts versus when it doesn't hurt? When something is sore versus when something is in pain? The difference. Get to know your body a little bit better. That's really what we're diving into. Does that make sense? Nods, shakes. And it was a little abstract today, right? But hopefully just introducing you to the concept of just checking your training a little bit more. What does that look like for you right now? Questions, comments, concerns, hit me. Something you've been thinking about. Emily, you owe me a question because you haven't been here. I'm gonna pick on you today. You owe me something.
Okay, something. Okay. Even though I haven't been like working out or doing anything, I'm still getting my steps.
Okay.
Probably like 8,000 a day. I'm like now
Okay.
I have to walk in my apartment. But that and I'm starting to cook again.
Okay.
Cooked my first meal yesterday.
Okay.
Haven't been tracking yet, but I'm starting to get back into it. Today I'm actually tracking. So oh,
We're getting back
I'm
into it.
like,
That's all I need.
yeah,
I like it.
that's
I like it.
good.
Jared, I'm picking on you. Sorry, man. How do you feel your intensity has looked lately? If you had to put a number to it, scale of 1 to 10, what do you think your training has been?
My upper days, I'm definitely sitting at a 6 or 7.
Okay.
My upper days feel good. My lower days, I know
Yeah,
I talked to you a little bit about my some of my issues with that, so I'm probably
sure.
sitting around a 5 for
Okay.
my lower body days.
But that's good. We have an idea. So we know we're trying to go around the pain, but this is with kind of the knee pain stuff like that, right? Or discomfort, right?
Yeah.
However, that's also a balance, right? So for example, John, if I can put a little bit of your business out there, John, we just recently had like a elbow tweak or a small elbow injury. There's ways to train around that. So if I'm training this side of my body, if I'm only training this arm versus this one, I can still do an 8 on this side and maybe do a 5 on this side so I don't make my elbow worse or whatever that thing might be for you, right? So all I'm gonna challenge you to do, Jared, if you know that a certain exercise maybe aggravates something more than others, awesome, take that to a 5. Your other training, for example, if your calves, if that's not affecting anything, your calves should still be an 8 or a 7. Don't shortchange yourself. Remember, your intensity is going to dictate how fast your progress is going to happen. If you're training slow, if you're training with not a lot, then expect your results to reveal a lot of the same, right? Kiki, how was your workout? How are you feeling? What do you think your intensity was first day on program?
It was upsetting.
Okay.
Uh, Few things happened,
Okay.
but mainly the start of it was my meal prepping. But that's a discussion for later, I guess. But basically, I was starving. You know, remember how I said like I plummet when I'm hungry?
Yes.
It happened out of freaking nowhere, and I was so pissed because like I got into the driveway, and then I felt the shaking start. I was like, God, 'cause I timed everything right. Like the timing to go into the gym was perfect. I went to do the in body. There was a whole thing with that. They lost my in body. And then either way, I went in
Rough day.
after I went home to eat because I was like, I'll just eat, digest, and it'll just be a sacrifice. It's always time, money, or sleep. That's what you always sacrifice. And I ended up sacrificing some sleep. But I went in, and so that's what I tried to focus on was the fact that I was in there. And then I did some things that I could fit in, about 75% of it, probably at like a good 6, 7 intensity, seven for some, six for some, just because of time.
Hmm.
The time crunch was a very distracting bit, but I'm about to go now so that I can have an actual proper workout with proper time, and that'll be great. But I did notice though, like, is logging it is playing along with the app the only option? Because I do find that a bit like stopping the ball roll, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
I have
So
to
I
keep being like,
have, so I
go
think
ahead.
as far as like your momentum, would you say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty
So
much.
keep in mind, this is, and this goes for everybody in here. If I haven't talked about it with you directly, I just need you to track.
Okay,
If you track before your workout, now normally I don't recommend that, right? Because you might find that you're lifting different weights on the day. So I don't want you to track before you walk in the gym and then you change it and then you can't log it, right? However, if you're very consistent in your program, you could track before the gym. If you don't like
okay,
tracking as you work out, cool.
yeah,
Track when you get back in the car, when you're leaving the gym. I just need to
okay,
get tracked.
okay, yeah, that's what I did because it wanted me to time, and then it said I did everything in 1 minute.
You don't,
So then I could
I'm not
just,
worried about it.
okay, so I just can click the things that I did. Will it say how many I do? Like if I do more or,
No, if you don't actually type in those numbers, right? I don't want you to just check off the boxes because it'll mark it for me that everything's incomplete. It's a lot of red on the screen, right? But at some point in your process, like I said, whether you want to do it in between exercises or if you just want to be like, if you can kind of remember what you did in the
yeah,
session, or if some guys in here actually like pen and paper, so they'll do pen and
yeah,
paper first and then they'll transfer it. However you want to do it, I just need to get tracked.
okay. That was my main question, really.
Awesome. I'm glad, Kiki. What I will say, bear with you. What did I want to? You touched on something important. Yes, it is March. Most of you guys are in Texas. Some of you guys are outside in other countries and stuff like that. It is getting hot. Not only is it getting hot, but what you call it? Well, actually, yeah, that's my main thing. Your body's going to change. It's going to respond to things differently. You need to make sure not only that you are drinking water, but that you're drinking electrolytes. But also on top of that, a lot of you guys have been complaining that you're feeling exhausted in your workouts because you are not fueling. Are you having carbs closer to your workout? Are you drinking water closer to your workout? Are you eating more carbs, which all you guys, some of you guys have free macros, right? Where as long as you go off the macros, you kind of have some more flexibility. Some of you guys are following meal plans, right? Are most of those carbs closer to your workout? Is most of that hydration closer to your workout? Are you eating somewhat close to your workout so you can have energy? That's probably why you're feeling like crap. That's probably why you're not pushing the same weight that you may have been in the past or in the colder months. Your body's going to start to sweat a lot more now, right? Keep in mind the season change and how that's going to react for your body, especially if you're working in like if your gym is like more of a warehouse and you don't have AC, keeping those things in mind. Other questions, comments, concerns, hit me. Doesn't have to be on what we talked about today. However, I do just want you to ask yourself about your training intensity, right? But questions, comments, concerns. Josh, welcome in, man. Feel free to ask a question if you need to again.
What do you like in general? I know everybody's different. What I guess what do you generally suggest? I guess like maybe 2 hours before a time frame of working out, you know.
So it depends. So loosely, when do you, I know we're still figuring this out, Kiki, but when do you
Right, yeah.
normally go to the gym? Maybe the afternoon,
Right.
right? So keep in mind some things that are in play there. So what I'm thinking about if I'm working out in the afternoon, for most of you guys, that's after work. Awesome. So one, you're already pretty warmed up for the day. You've been moving around all day, you have good steps. So maybe your warm up doesn't have to be that much. As far as food goes, around 2 hours before, I'm trying to eat a meal, a full meal. So what I mean by that is it includes protein. For me, I work out in the mornings around 10 a.m., give or take. So I'm usually covered because I eat breakfast before that. Right before I go to the gym, 30, 45 minutes before, um, really for me, it's immediate before because then the travel time to the gym takes care of that time gap, right? I'm eating something high in carbs. If you're a little bit more advanced, or you have a little bit more muscle, you can get away with something more unhealthy, something easy to, I'll eat some candy, I'll eat some sugar, right? Yogurt and fruit, something high in sugar, something high in carbs because it's going to fuel your workout. If you're trying to lose weight, I recommend you still be a little cautious. Something like rice cakes. Remember your carbs, your fruits and vegetables, or um, pasta, bread, rice, things of that nature. You need stuff like that before your workout to fuel what you're trying to do. And then also, Key, as we get more advanced in this, your workouts are going to get longer. So we're also thinking about intra carbs. So what are you consuming during the workout? Your carbs for that should only be liquid. Again, this is a little bit more advanced. Not all you guys have to do this, but if you're eating for energy inside your workout, it needs to be liquid, or else it's not going to digest fast enough to help you. So that's things like applesauce. Um, you can do like the carb powders to add to like your pre-workout, things of that nature. Is that your question?
Yeah, like those what about like those meal replacement drinks? What do you think about those?
I wouldn't do that immediately before. That would be kind of like closer to the 1 hour.
Well, I mean intra.
It's not going to
No,
digest fast enough. Not the same thing.
no.
It needs to be
Okay.
like straight carbs. So like a Gatorade would be a better option.
Okay.
Cool. What else we got, guys? Anything on your mind? Save rounds.
Kind of
Luis, what's up, man?
a silly question.
Silly.
Do you drink your pre-workout during your workout, or do you drink it pre your
I love
workout?
I love this question. This is actually an underrated question. I'm very particular on my pre-workout, and I think a lot of intention, people benefit from a lot more intention. Depending on how much pre-workout I take, mind you, I'm a competitive athlete, so mine's a little bit different, right? And I'm very intentional about kind of what I'm doing. My point is, you're timing it. When do you need the biggest benefit from your pre-workout? And also, how long does it take for it to kick in for you and your body? So I know for me, my pre-workouts kick in kind of fast. My body processes it super fast. It works out well. In about 15 to 20 minutes, about 15 for me, I'm going to feel that pre-workout. So I'm timing how I'm drinking it to me getting ready for my heaviest deadlift, my heaviest bench press, things like that. So I want to say, yes, I drink it in my workout. I drink it in my warm up, but I'm timing it to when I know it's going to hit for me. Some people, it takes a minute. So you might be drinking it in the car on the way to the gym, right? Try to ask yourself that question, kind of be aware of your body. When do I really feel this kick in and where do I want it the most? Some people I know like to take it a little bit later in their workout because they don't need it for the first half of their workout. They like it for the second half as kind of that boost. It's something to play around with, but I drink it in my warm up.
Copy.
Cool. That's Aaron. This is good stuff today. Any other questions? Anything on your mind?
Quick question.
Josh, hit me, man.
So I normally work out at 4 a.m.
Sure.
Because of like work and my commute and stuff like that. So what do you recommend for people who's waking up that early?
I I love these questions, man. So this is gonna be good. So Josh, I haven't told you yet. Especially because I wanted your task to finish up so I can start to on your program. But the biggest thing for you, man, what we're gonna be playing around with, and this is for you guys that kids and things like that, if you're waking up early, a lot of what we're gonna focus on, Josh, is you eating heavy for your dinners. So like carb heavy meals and things like that for your dinners so that you can already be fueled because you're waking up so early, if that makes sense. So your dinners are probably going to get a bit bigger than what you might be used to. So you don't have to worry, you don't have to work so hard on your breakfast. And then it's easy because you're already going to feel full and fueled for the gym, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right, yeah, that makes sense.
That's something that we're going to lay out a little bit better, but you're going to be a lot of your effort, your pre-workout meal is going to be your dinner the night before because you're really just waking up and going to the gym.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
Well, what about if because I might alternate sometimes, like before I would sometimes work out 4 a.m., sometimes I'd work 5 p.m. depending. So if that's the case, I know that was like specifically for his meal or something. Is it okay to kind of like have a protein shake to kind of get me through it in case I plummet randomly in the middle of my workout at 4 a.m. or like
So this is my beef with that, Kiki.
hmm
The biggest thing you're mentioning protein, and again, there's a balance here. If you know that that works well for your body and it just feels good, and that's something that we confirm, I have no issue with it.
oh, I see.
But the textbook is gonna say that protein is going to take longer to digest and you're not going to feel the benefit. That's why we're focusing on the carbs, the sugars, Gatorade,
Mhm.
Powerade, applesauce, something quick inside to work out because you're going to digest it faster and it's going to actually help you. That protein shake that you're drinking, it's not going to break down into your body till you're leaving the gym.
Mhm. Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So something we can
yeah.
play around with on the timing, but that would be my recommendation.
Okay. Yeah, I think at the time I was just figuring something to like fill my stomach so I can just stop having the hungry feeling. But if it like will help me have a more effective workout, yeah.
Cool. Save rounds.
I have a question about that. So a protein shake 2 hours before your workout would be okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's
I
it.
personally, again, there's nuance to this for everybody's case. Generally speaking, I'm going to stop eating protein about at least an hour before the workout, if not 2 hours. Everything after that is carb, it's sugars, it's fruit, because I want it to digest quick for the workout.
Okay.
Last rounds.
I kind of get what you're saying now. I think I was just being slow about it. You're saying like for so that way it's building the muscle properly during the work, like it's going towards the workout.
Yes.
Okay. It's not about like being full or losing power. It's about like the effectiveness of okay.
You
Okay.
can be hungry. I love this topic. You
Oh
can
no.
be hungry in a session. You hungry doesn't mean that you are weak. You're
Yes.
hungry, right? Because for a lot of people, right? You're hungry because your stomach isn't full. You haven't had enough protein. You haven't, what's the word? Satisfied your stomach enough. That does not necessarily mean an energy problem. You can eat a lot of carbs and still be hungry. But those carbs are going to contribute to your energy in your workout. You can be hungry, but still feel strong, still feel springy, whatever you like to say in the gym, right? My goal is that, for example, if you're eating, what's a heavy meal to you guys? Spaghetti? I don't know. If you're eating spaghetti 30 minutes before your workout, that spaghetti is not helping the workout. It's not going to be digested till like 2, 3 hours later. You're not going to have that energy benefit because of how heavy that meal is, how much protein's in there. Does that make sense? Science.
Even though it is carbs, right? So I
The
say the type
pasta.
of carbs matter,
So
right?
the pasta, yes, is going to be your carbs, right? The pasta is going to contribute to the energy, but because you're eating protein with it, it's slowing down the whole digestion process. Versus if you just ate a bowl of pasta, so let's say like no meat, that would be a lot faster and you're going to get more benefit from that. Does that make sense? Again, fine tuning, nutrition. This is sports nutrition 101.
So I just had chicken. I shouldn't have had chicken.
How are you about to go to the gym right now?
Yeah.
So you can keep your chicken. Did you have any sort of kind of carbs with your meal there?
I have this Powerade and I had half of a small fries.
Okay. So you're getting benefit, right? So then you're already kind of starting the digestion process. You're already getting fueled. I would drink that Gatorade like after a warm up if I were you. I love it. Great questions today. Great questions.
You should do a day in the life of what Mitch's meals are. I don't know.
I will. I've heard that before.
All
So
right, just curious.
I will. It's gonna be a lot of donuts. I'm not gonna lie to you. But
All right.
yes, I can do that.
At this point, I think we just know your breakfast,
That's
your
what
Yeah.
sausage and eggs and hash
I get a lot
browns.
of shit talking on my sausage. No, but regardless, if you guys are good, right, keep in mind, I will, as usual, with all these meetings, same thing for you, Joshua. I will be in these meetings every Wednesday. Excuse me, I'm going to stay till the last person leaves. So if there's something that you'd like to talk to me about a little bit more directly, or you have a question, just let me know. But besides that, you guys are good. Josh, just make sure you do your tasks. Naya, send me a message as you need to, and we guys are good.
Yeah, I'm
Peace.
about to finish those now.
Sounds good, man.
All right.
Peace and protein to y'all.
All right, peace.
Save rounds for you guys that need to talk to me. Luis.
Were you able to see my check-in?
Not yet. I know because it wasn't it was a little bit later, right? I don't believe
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
yet.
that's on me. I
That's cool. But no, I don't think I've seen it yet.
so I tweaked my shoulder again.
Okay.
Turns out it's a neck issue. Um, reasoning is gonna be in the check-in. Not gonna dive into that
Okay.
one. Um, but got back a little. I was a little sore, but I was like, I should be fine. Tried benching, and that's when it really started hurting. It was my left side. So I went to like this recovery center, got a massage, did the cupping, the needles and whatnot. And I was like, all right, cool. I got legs tomorrow. I should be fine. I was not fine. I was not okay. Started squatting and I think I got 2 sets in and I was like, yeah. Realistically like five because I started with like 2 sets of warm-ups. And I was like, damn, this really hurts. Did my leg extensions and I was like, yeah, I can't do this. So I went to the doctor, got an x-ray. They just said my neck is a little stiff, well, pretty stiff, and it's causing that pain to run down my arm. So didn't go to the gym or didn't finish my 2 workouts, my upper or lower, because obviously it was kind of brutal. And they kind of just told me to rest up for 2 to 4 days. Um, they got me on muscle relaxers and painkillers just to and they should be calling me at some point for physical therapy just to loosen it up or whatever. But just wanted to kind of update you on that.
So, one, Luis, that's an injury, big dog, right?
Oh,
With that
nice.
in mind, that's a message me ASAP. Don't leave that for
Okay.
just a check-in. And mind you, that's something that normally I would see, but you weren't on the normal check-in schedule, so that's why I hadn't seen it yet, right? Something like
Yeah.
that, I need to, hey Mitch, this is what's going on. You know what I mean? Because I would have told you, don't even squat, don't even bench press,
Okay.
right? So one, just keeping that in mind. Injuries is like top tier. We need to automatically like make an adjustment as soon as we can, right? Because God forbid, you got lucky, man. Honestly, with how that was, that could have been an easy. The day you squatted, especially after you benched, you could have tore that, and
Yeah.
we'd be out 3 months. You know what I mean? So one, I
Mhm.
just want you to know how important that is. Two, though, yeah, man, I'll look at the check-in. I'll send you some adjustments that we can make for the program, and I'm gonna give you some more neck mobility stuff so we can start to loosen this up a lot more.
Will do.
Cool.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
Just bear with me with the reasoning as to how I tweak my neck.
Okay, okay, man.
I'll be waiting for a message.
All right, I got you.
All right, man. See you. Bye.
Emily.
Okay, I have some news too. So, I went to the doctor and I've told her I've been having some hand pain, but she told me, oh, you probably have like a mild carpal tunnel because I have pain like running through my pinky and then like up to just like here. Because I mean, you know what I do? Like I do nails like every day. So, but I wanted to say I haven't been in the gym. I've just with what I'm dealing with right now, like the
Yep.
apartment and everything. But now that I'm getting back into it, I haven't really tried anything. Like I haven't held like anything since she told me that. But I was like, today I'll probably do an upper. I mean, I don't know, like it doesn't feel real bad, but when I said like I was having like grip pain before, or not pain, but just troubles. I guess I just wanted to know like is there anything like to help like for that, or should I just try it out, like see like how the pain
So one, I don't know why you guys even have a coach sometimes.
is?
Emily, how long have you been going through this?
It's only been maybe like a week.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm lying because I had my 2-week follow-up, so obviously 2 weeks.
So
But like I said, I haven't been in the gym or anything because it was the same time like as moving. So I was like, let me just, yeah.
fair.
Okay.
So timing. What I will say, again, it's
Hmm.
kind of same thing I was telling Luis.
Hmm.
So that's pain, right? That's not just like, oh, my
Yeah.
workout is hard. That's pain. I always want to know
Yeah.
about pain as soon as
Hmm.
possible. I know you've been busy, just throwing that out there, right? Two, there's absolutely things we can do. A lot of
Hmm.
that carpal tunnel, because of your job and you're doing this all day,
Hmm.
we need to get your hands and your wrists a lot stronger than they are. That's why the pains could be
Yeah.
because you're doing these same movements every day, but your hands aren't really strong, so it's stressing out. your
Mm-hmm.
hands. So
Mm-hmm.
there's absolutely some things we can do. I can give you that. Now I'm aware, so that you can expect some updates for that. As you start to get back in, you'll see some stuff for your hands.
Okay. That's so I just go like normal today.
Go like normal.
Yeah. All right. And this is the first day I'm getting back at it too. So I'm like for real, for real. So I'm like,
Okay, for real.
I'm
I'm gonna hold you to
good.
that. Okay, for real, for real.
Yes.
All right.
And oh, and one more thing she said, I'm low on vitamin D3. And I want to say I had like high cholesterol. But I don't know. Those are the only things that I wanted to tell you about because I know you're like vitamins and stuff, you know?
Okay, so send me everything you just told me right now, just some
Okay.
like bullet points, some notes, so we
Yeah.
can make some adjustments, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
All right.
All
Bye.
right, man. Kiki, I know you gotta go.
Yeah. I'm when I go there, I'm gonna see the assistant manager just because the chick that took my in body didn't give me the thing.
Okay.
But off the top of my head, I remember some things, and this is the leanest my legs have ever been. That was weird. Like my legs are apparently the weakest thing on me, and
Nice.
now I'm top heavy. That's weird. But um, so when I get the in body, how am I supposed to turn that into you?
Take a picture, send it to me.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
And then from there, do we tweak like the rest of this week or next week?
It'll be more next week because I want you to get through a couple workouts and just
Yeah.
see how you feel, see how our
Yeah.
body's reacting, stuff like that. And then as we kind of go through our check-in stuff next week, I have your in-body. We'll talk about what adjustments we'll make. The in-body mainly is going to adjust your timeline. So it's going to tell me kind of how long we need to be in certain phases.
Mm. Yeah, I was pretty upset with it. So
Don't worry.
I
Don't worry, I
feel,
got
and
you.
the thing, but the performance wise, like I thought I was way better. I have like endurance and stamina and stuff, but I guess my muscles have gone somewhere. So
Don't worry. We'll find them. We'll find them together.
all right, thank you.
See you later. Barry,
Two questions.
hit me, man.
Freaking looking at my stuff on like the change now, like you already know just transition. What like I don't like I said, I never really squatted for real. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like looking at whenever I was leg pressing, like where do you think I should be for a squat? Cause like don't get me wrong, I feel it, but it's like I don't know if it's like that point where if I feel like if I go too high, I'm probably finna throw this weight off and say, fuck it,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
This shit I'm finna be embarrassed to like drop the weight. I ain't finna. I'm like in between that. So I was wondering, should I like just try to go for slightly lower or like a higher rep type deal? That's what I'm wondering. Cause it's only five. I'm like, it's only five, but it's like once I'm done with it, it don't hurt. Once I'm doing it, it hurts. Like where it's
That's
weird.
so that's so that's strength training, man. It's so if I think I know what you're saying right now, it's only gonna hurt during. You're gonna burn more with the other stuff. I don't want it to feel the same, right?
Got you.
That's how you're gonna get stronger. But also, have you sent me a video of your squats?
Nah, I don't
So
see videos at all. Like I just
I know none of y'all listen to me and then be like, why am I not making progress? But it's cool. I
First
don't
off, I've never complained about like, don't ever. I ain't say that once.
No, man,
I
but
ain't making progress. I asked, like I said, the reason like I came because like, yo, I just need you to, hey, y'all, you should do this, you should do that. I just need somebody to game plan it, make sure I'm eating this and tracking this. Hey, and I'm good. You already know.
okay, so make sure, right? So let me make sure your form is good. Send me a damn video.
Uh, I mean,
It
people gonna
take
be like, what the fuck you doing, bro?
why you worry about other people?
If I get, they look at me funny. I don't like being looked at funny, bro.
You're a Wayne, first of all, this is Barry. I used to serve in the military with him. So this
We talk how we
is
talk,
my
bro.
boy. So I'm gonna but I know
I'm a veteran
I'll
too,
talk to
so
Wayne
I
personally.
get it. I get it.
So
Yeah.
I can take off my coaching hat. How tall are you?
6'2".
You a 6'2" big ass black dude with dreads. Oh, they're gonna look at me. You're scary anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry. You
I'm a
right.
bald 40, about to be 44, bald guy, and I record my shit.
You know what
Fuck
I
them.
mean?
That
Just
is true.
just
And I also
record.
do have
Look,
my pistol on me. I'm in the gym. You right. You're true.
I turn on the camera. 1, 2, 3. I go and turn it off. That's 30 seconds.
Cool.
So I can help you with your form and shit. And then I can tell you, hey, you need to add more weight. Hey, you got to get deeper. You know what I mean?
Got you. All right. And the second one too was fucking. I just got a fucking text from. I ain't gonna say dumbass text. The Apex was like, "Yo, they said they can do like my membership I just got. They can do a body scan. So do you want me to do that shit and send
Yes,
it to you?"
for sure. Just take same thing. Just take a picture, bro. When you get it, just take a picture and send it to me, and that'll help a lot.
Got you. Cause I don't know. Should I do like one? I don't know. My son's starting daycare, so I might be. So the days like where I'm rushing, cause a lot of the
Mhm.
like you see in my training shit, like a lot of the times I can do the lifting part, and it's like I can try to squeeze in a freaking ab, or I can try to do the tread shit. But it's like once my baby mama get to texting me, I'm like, dog,
Over. Yeah.
bro, you know what? Hey, I did what I wanted to do. I walk. I'm in the sun all day. Hey, it's gonna come off some way, shape, or form. I
Yeah.
ain't too pissy about it. You feel me? So yeah, that was mainly it. Cause like in bench pressing, it's it's like I feel it, but at the same time, it's like when I love flies more than anything. I'm very biased towards that.
Okay.
Sorry, not sorry. It's like I feel it, but it's like whenever I'm doing flies, I feel it more too. It's like I don't know. It's probably I'm just transitioning. I'm like more nervous. I'm like, bro, if this shit fall on me, it's over with. Like
But that's what I'm saying. So one, I don't know what your form looks like. I can't help you. Nothing on how to make you stronger, on how to help you feel better, right? But
got you.
two, remember, we don't have to do for what your goals are right now, big dog. We don't have to do anything. So if you're like, look, I'm not fucking with bench, we don't got to do bench. But I gotta see more shit from you though.
Got you. Cause like whenever you're talking about the intensity stuff, it's like when I'm under the weight doing squats and shit, this shit hurt. Like the
Hmm.
second I put that bitch down, I'm okay. I can
See,
add a
that's what I'm
power.
saying. Yeah, we gonna lay it out. But as long as I hear from you, like I said, send me a message, dog. Like throughout the week, when you feel this stuff in your workouts, like send me these messages, and then we'll fine tune it.
Like yeah, nah, cause that's mainly it for me, bro. I'm finna go to the Judas leg shit now. So yeah,
All right, man.
but yeah,
Amen.
pretty sure I'll send you a video of both of them. Got you. But
All right, bro. All right. Wayne, what's up?
Hopefully, this is a simple one.
Hey,
This like picked it up where we left off at the gym. More of the detail talk. I realized on the drive home, I'm a feelings guy.
okay.
So when you're talking about details and why I couldn't explain my prep for like how my setup or whatever, or can I describe a good deadlift? I realized why I can't because
Yep.
I'm I'm a feelings guy. It all it's all like how I feel,
Sure.
how I felt. So and, and like I said, I'm not good with words. Like to say I am, kind of am, but as far as detailing stuff goes, I'm really not. So how can I like if it's all feelings and kind of like in the moment, how can I express that to you?
So, can I talk to you for real, Wayne?
Always. I mean, you gotta ask that.
You'd be surprised, man. Gotten sued like 3 times. Anyways, um,
As personal as we've gotten, yeah.
Wayne, what do you're identifying yourself, right? Which is cool, but you got to be very careful with that. Do you consider yourself a father?
I am a father.
That doesn't mean anything. Do you see yourself as a father? Biologically, you have had offspring, absolutely. But that doesn't mean there's a bunch of people with offspring that aren't fathers, that aren't dads. You know what I mean?
I don't. Yeah, but they're not fathers. If you're not there for your kids, you're not a father.
Right? A different way to explain it. Um, what you call it? Do you see yourself as a veteran?
Of course.
Okay. Are you a veteran like you still wear Like your army shirts out in town and you wear the retired hat, or just like, hey, like I used to be in the army.
I don't wear that, but I mean, I have shirts that says I'm a veteran or grunt. Well, I would say grunt style, but civilians wear grunt style shirts. But
So
you
this is
know,
what I'm saying. So this is what I'm saying, right? And the examples don't matter, but what you identify with. So as soon as you say, I'm a feelings guy, okay, well that's it though. You're not allowing yourself any opportunity. For example, what did we talk about at the beginning? I'm fat. You're gonna stay fat. You are telling yourself you are a fat person. I'm not saying that's the case. Obviously, that's not the case anymore, right? But
right?
same thing. Oh, I'm a feelings guy. My brain doesn't work like that. You're not allowing your brain to work like that. You've never been asked to do something like this before. And my goal is not to have you ignore your feelings, not at all, because they're going to play a huge role in the training. But the other half of that is, excuse me, the other half of that is how do you measure feelings? You can't. I don't know how. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If I say this week Wayne felt good and the next week Wayne felt bad, I don't know what that means. How do you program for that? How do I change your nutrition for that? Versus, hey coach, I felt tired today. Okay, that's measurable. Scale of 1 to 10, how tired were you? Hey coach, this week I lifted 100 pounds. Next week I lifted 150. That's objective feedback. That's numbers. Numbers aren't going to lie to you. You've had days where you felt good, but the gym day was bad because numbers. You know what I mean? I don't want you to ignore your feelings, but you also have to learn how to start to look for. This is just a new process. You have to get more skillful at being more objective. Yes, this is how I felt, but separate from this is what happened. Last week I got 9 reps. This week I got 10 reps. I measurably got better. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
yeah,
It's just a practice thing, man. But this is why I tell you, especially talking to you as a coach, you have to get more measurable on these things. Imagine if we didn't track, imagine we've been working together last year and we didn't track our workouts. You might have lost weight. I wouldn't know how much weight. I wouldn't know if you were making progress week to week. You get what I mean? Start learning how to go off of the numbers more and how you feel. You can put them together, you're going to be a fantastic lifter. I know when I feel this, I usually get this objective result in my training, right? Your warm-ups. What's your system for your warm-ups right now? Do you still go off of what we have in the app, or are you doing your own thing?
no, I'm still going by.
How many sets do you do?
For my warm-ups,
Hmm.
it usually it's like two or whatever.
Okay.
I mean, for my warm-ups, I've added some things.
Sure.
Oh, no, that's more like no, that's more like the stretching.
Okay. So maybe
But
your
yeah,
warm-ups. How many reps do you do? You don't have to answer these questions. How many reps do you do when you drink water 30 minutes before your workout versus 45 minutes for your workout? How does it make you feel? These are all objective. This is my whole job, and this is what you need to get a better grasp on yourself. Everything I do, and I don't talk to like the average client like this, Wayne. Like I don't tell them all this, but my whole job is being more objective because people don't want to spend the time to learn what all these different numbers mean. They just want to get told what to do. That's why I have a job, right? Because all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take your numbers and your data and your analytics and how are things going, and I'm gonna tell you, hey, because of what we're able to measure, this is why you're not seeing what you're doing. Why are we having nutrition problems right now, Wayne? How did I know to tell you that we're having nutrition problems? Because we're not tracking shit. I know that's a weak spot because we don't have anything to go off of. So that means that you're guessing. Because how you feel, well, I feel like I'm eating good. You felt like you were eating good before you started to work with me.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Feelings aren't always accurate. Are we getting the result that we're trying to get? That's why. That's why we've been talking about you using your previous weeks. Every time you walk in for you as an athlete, every time you walk in the gym, you should be looking at your previous last week's workout of that same day. So if it's squat two today, you want to look at last week's squat two and be like, what did I do? Okay, this should be my goal for today based on last week and based on how I feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Does that answer your question? Tell me if it
I
doesn't.
got you. No. I understand.
Okay, good.
It's again, it's a whole new thing that I gotta learn
Hmm.
instead of frustrating, trying to frustrate, getting myself frustrated for not knowing.
Something else.
Like you said, you don't know what you don't know.
It's just something else to learn, man. That's it. But the more you
And you
send
also
me
kind of giving
feedback,
me
right? The more you send me feedback, mind you, like Jared in here, Jared sends me a message every day. Every time he leaves the gym, he sends me a paragraph of how that workout went. He's making fantastic progress because of how much communication we have. You know what I mean?
okay, and then talking with the pre-workouts kind of gave me an idea, and just try this tomorrow. Um, I drink my pre-workout before I come into the gym. Um, I'm gonna tomorrow, since it's a squat day, and squats and deadlifts is really when I have pre-workouts. Um, I'm gonna drink it before I start my heavy sets. See
See
how
how it
that
goes?
works.
Just an
Yeah.
experimentation, you know? Hell yeah.
All right. Got you, coach. Appreciate it.
Man.
Have a good night.